hello there. We're done with that crazy page 9. It was very tough. Page 10. I drew it. It's drawn. This is a continuation of the battle, but it ends with Rabbit Fighter running away. And this is going to form like a transition, so we can get back to what's going on with Gallows, and we should have Gallows fixing up that robot hand. So let's just do, I think we might just do one panel right now, and it's mostly zombies. So let's see. I'm going to put 2 layers here. This one's going to be the bubbles layer. Speech bubbles. I actually should do 3 layers, but I'm going to save that other one for later. This layer 9 will be our inky layer. Alright. I'm a little unsure about this because I've stacked a bunch of arms and hands kind of coming in to show that he's still in that wrestling grip. You know, he's still being held down. But I think we're going to do focus lines coming in, and you're going to see definitely Rabbit Fighter's hand. With the crowbar. And to emphasize, he's going to say, "Got it." And then you know that once he's got it, like, he's going to be okay. Or he's going to at least be able to stand up. We've got to make sure that it's really obvious which are the zombie hands and which are Rabbit Fighter's hands. I think I mentioned this. I almost said Robot Fighter. Rabbit Fighter is partially, originally, although I've kind of dropped it, an homage to Magnus Robot Fighter, who was a Dell Comics character that I was just then getting into. I like the original ones. It's kind of I don't know if there's ever been a comic before or since it's exactly like Magnus Robot Fighter. It's set in a futuristic world, and there's these robots. But what's really compelling about it is you got to see the backgrounds on this place. the cityscapes are like the cities are almost aerial, like they're up in the air. They have these multiple glass domes and pathways and teardrop shaped air cars, and you know, it's super futuristic. And the guy who designed it had a real flair for design, and it's pretty cool. Oh, that's almost started to add fur to the zombie, which I didn't want to do. I've put my panels on their own layer, as you can see. This is definitely not a popular style of drawing. I was looking at Rini. Fiendish is her comic. She's well, actually, she was involved in mainstream comics. Now she's doing these sort of Comicsgate things. She's real cool. But she's got that same kind of look that kind of everyone has right now. It's kind of funny. There's some kind of weird rivalry that they're showing with her and Malin. And this is kind of like the same rivalry they had with Dan Fraga. I think this is just comic artists having fun. They have these little drawing contests. It's actually quite entertaining. Okay. So this is Rabbit Fighter, so we should show it's furry. Alright. Gotta be careful to get your, whoops. Your line weight in just right. It's a cold day today. I'm trying to show that there's blood everywhere. Oof. Well, is it cold? It's cold compared to yesterday. There we go. Perfect. I don't know, can you see that? I should probably not hold it like I am. But it's a Sunday, the Sunday after Veterans Day and the Marine Corps birthday. All right. Feeling pretty good. I also drew, I'm not even sure if I showed this yet, but I drew most of the third page of the webcomic that I'm doing on Volehammer. I didn't do a Volehammer yesterday, but I'm going to. I'm in a stuck situation where I have the beginning kind of mapped out. And the beginning is just like this hunting scene, but it's a, what's the word I want to use? It's like a red herring. It's not about hunting, even though the comic is called Hunter-Gatherer. It's really about these sort of neophyte hunters who have to survive, right? And so I've got to introduce the bad guys, and I have not designed them yet. The bad guy I want to focus on is a guy called Roadkill, and it's going to be a mutant possum. That's the idea. I have not designed it. I haven't looked at pictures of possums or trying to figure out how am I going to do this. That's the idea. Like Rocksteady and Bebop. And also shout out to Eric Jensen. I've been following some stuff from him on the Twitters. And he's kind of going through After the Bomb, which is the Palladium, kind of the Palladium equivalent of Gamma World / this whole genre of post-apocalyptic mutant adventure stories. It's almost a subgenre, it's like, I think it only really truly exists in role-playing games, ever since I would draw it back to Metamorphosis Alpha. I wonder if I hatch this a little bit. It'll be easier to tell which ones are the zombies and which one is the triumphant rapid fighter hand. Alright. Well, I think it looks okay right now. These hands are out of proportion, but I don't mind. I think they look, good in a cartoony way. In a zombie cartoon way. One of my other inspirations when I was first kind of putting together Rabbit Fighter and I was trying to come up with these designs, and I had that design for the Scourge, which looks like just a big cube with an eye in it. Some tentacle arms. Is actually Samurai Jack had that same kind of aesthetic of using something simple. So it's always been part of the scene. I'm going to make sure and draw using nice thin line weights for this last zombie. Not counting the shadows, of course. Alright, we're going to do a quick pull off and just see where we are. Alright, I think we're in a good place. You got to keep checking to see how your inks are doing. When I was, I would say, college, I was really into the Palladium games like Rifts. And, oh shoot, let's do this one. And, there was art by a guy named Kevin Long in there. I know Kevin Long he did something in video games, but I don't know what he did really. But at some point he ends up like like Kevin Simbito who's the head of Palladium, was kind of his company, would every once in a while announce about all the people that he'd fired, and of course Kevin Long was eventually among them. That's how it was back then. There's so many weird things that happen with Palladium. Alright, that's actually looking pretty good. And then life size, more like this. Alright, let's get that final zombie in the back. This is the one that I've been drawing that has like the half the face. It's got the nose. He's more decayed than the others. I know I'm not going all out with the zombie gore. I'll probably have to look at how other comics have done that. Walking Dead especially. I think Walking Dead was probably the last breakout hit of comics, perhaps ever. I'm looking at this hand and pencil. It's in the wrong place. We could have figured out a new place for it to go. Where can it go? Something like that. I think that'll work. It's gonna have to survive just based on line weights that we'll have to tell that it's different than the rabbit fighter hand that's coming up behind it, or coming up in front of it. The more you do things, the more you learn. And the more you fail, the more you learn. So failure is not the worst thing in the world. If you do a image or a picture or something like that, and you're like, you know what, that didn't quite work. A lot of times you won't even know until after you've done it. Or after you've seen it in print, you're like, you know what, I don't think I should have done it that way. Of course, the worst that happens is when you have that realization before it's in print and you have to fix it or knowingly let it go. That's tough, even tougher. Alright, let's take a look. How about that? Whoa. I think that's good, actually. This is almost looking a little Mignola-esque with the block shadows. Not that I'm like Mignola, but you know how he does block shadows. Okay, we got some ground cover. And then this is why I wanted to do one more layer. We're going to call this focus. The reason is focus lines. Alright, let's rock them. Canvas, drawing guide, perspective. Let's put the focus right on the fist. Now I've got some dialogue here. I don't know if you can see that. Got it. And we're going to draw right through it because we're going to also put in our bubble, our speech bubble. Alright, I think this is looking good. Alright. And we're going to erase everything that went outside the when we were kind of flicking our lines in. And it gets a nice graduated like spike on it. That way. But you always got to remember to tidy it up afterwards. I don't think I could do that with real ink. I mean, I guess you could. I guess you could tape it off or something. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Let's fix that speech bubble there. We're going to use the technical pen. Rabbit Fighter is just off cam. There we go. And let's drop the pencil layer for just a moment. And actually, let's also drop the drawing guide. There we go. What do you think? There's a panel. Please like, follow, and subscribe, and tune in here for more content. We'll be getting done with page 10 before you know it, and I post all of the progress. If you want to see it close up, I'm going to try and post it on Instagram or as a YouTube post. You can see how it's all going. Follow along. Leave comments or questions below. Is that sticking out enough? I think it's looking good, man. All right. Talk to you later.